All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be revisiting Red Green Smoker. This is a leader I've not visited in some time now, and a lot of people really like this leader. I do get it, a very fun, very cool leader to play, and yeah, we're going to be checking that out in today's video. Now, let me go ahead and break things down for you real quick. First things first, we're going to be heading over to the deck list we're going to be running for today's video. It's something I kind of cooked up for today's video. Something I just kind of made up on the spot, and we'll talk about that more as we get into it. After that, we're going to head over to the sim. We got 5 games to go over on the sim, and then we're going to finish up by going over the deck list one more time and just kind of going from there and talking about it. I'll tell you guys what I think about it moving forward. Okay, so that's what we got lined up for today. I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comments section below. Now, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to put those down in the comments section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. Now, one more thing I do want to say before we launch into this is we will be streaming tonight. We stream right here on YouTube on the VV Theory every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. So be sure to stop by, come hang out, and, you know, do some brainstorming, some deck theory crafting with us and all that good stuff, okay? All right, now, let's do it, guys. Let's get into it. So, before we get into the games, we do have to check out the deck list. Let me get this leader out of the way and put my glasses on. That will help me see everything a little bit better. Okay, so here's the list we're running for today. There is a card that's missing. Let's see who can... Guys, there's a card that's missing that most red decks run, and let's see if you can figure it out. I'm sure there's probably 2 cards missing, actually. Depends on how you look at it. I'm gonna read the leader real quick, and then we'll run through the list. So first up, the leader here, we got a 5,000 power red-green Punk Hazard Navy type leader named Smoker with 2 different very powerful effects. The first one is, on your opponent's turn, all of your Navy and Punk Hazard characters gain plus 1,000 power. And then there's an activate main once per turn that says if you have a character with 7,000 power or more, you can set 2 of your Dawn cards as active. Now, we're going to run through the list, and then we're going to talk about it. So we're running 3 Silvers Rayleigh, we're running 4 Virgo, 4 Sanji, 4 Tony Chopper, 3 Dragon number 13. I really like this card. I'll probably be talking about it more throughout the video, but I really like this card. Just a nice 2-cost blocker, searchable with Punk Hazard, 1k counter in hand. And, you know, with the way this leader's effect works, having the 2 Dawn active after, you know, using up your turn and having a 7,000 power character on the board, you can use that 2 Dawn, number 1, to sit on this event. We'll talk about in a minute. But number 2 is you can just slam down a little blocker. I'm a big fan of this card. Okay. There might be better options here like Rosinante, I understand, but hear me out. You know, this is still a very solid card. Then we have 4 Mocha here. This is a 3-cost. It's just a 2k counter. Then we have, that's pretty much all it is. It does have some power reduction built in, but I'll try to mention that again later. Running 3 Monet, only 3 in here. Then we're running 4 Eustace Kid, 3 Hody Jones, 4 Smoker, 4 Tashigi, 3 of this card. It's called Kamakura Jutsushi here on the sim, but I think it's called 10-layer Igloo in the actual game. Like, I think the actual accurate translation is 10-layered Igloo. Then we're running 3 You Can Be My Samurai, 2 of Whoever Wins This War Becomes Justice, and 2 Straw Sword. So, what's the card that's missing here? I'll give you all another hint. I already gave you one hint that it's a red card. The other one is it's a 7-cost card. That's right, we're not running Ben Beckman in here, which is a pretty standard inclusion amongst most red decks, I will say. But I was kind of running out of room in the deck, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to be running 3 Rayleighs. I already have 3 Hody Jones in here. So the 7-cost 8 spot, you know, and then even Eustace Kid, right? So the 7, 8, and 9 cost turns are going to be so full, like, you know, slam packed, that it's going to be kind of hard to work in the Ben Beckman, as crazy as that sounds, because in this deck with red and green, I honestly think that these 3 cards just take precedence over the Ben Beckman. Now, you might say, hey, you could still probably fit Ben Beckman in here and make it work, and I would agree with you, actually. I think Straw Sword it's on the chopping block, and you'll see it come up very rarely in today's video, but maybe this card's on the chopping block, and we can add 2 Beckmans from there, because then we go up a counter in hand, and we go up some removal late game, and it's a nice way to finish out our curve with Smoker. Okay, but it's not necessary, I will say. Well, let me say this. I really like Ben Beckman, and he's worth running in pretty much any red deck right now. But at the same time, like I said, let me just call it the 5 through 8 cost slot is very, very dense right now. It's hard to fit cards in there. On top of that, there's another card some people might have thought of I was talking about with Dragon. After I said, there's a card missing, I thought people might think Dragon as well, and that's definitely another card to consider. I do think Dragon is needs to be a very serious consideration for any deck that runs red. But we're not running that in today's deck list. Now, another card, too, just to think about, just to talk about, is the 2-cost Rosinante in the place of Dragon number 13. But here's the thing. Let me find that real quick. I'll mouse over it so people can read that if they don't know what it does. It's this card right here. It is a Navy card, by the way, so he does end up being a 2,000 power blocker, if that matters. I don't think it really matters, to be honest. I don't know, maybe it helps get around some like super low removal, like something that KOs a 0 power character, and if they have like 1 power cost reduction, I don't know. Whatever the case is, this is a 2-cost blocker in here with a 1k counter, and it has, if one of your other rested characters would be KO'd, you may instead trash this character. Now, the main reason I was not running Rosinante was because Virgo is my searcher. I can only search out Punk Hazard cards. Now, I'm sure there is an argument to run Navy instead of Virgo in a deck like this, Actually, is there a Navy searcher? I can't think of one off the top of my head. Let me just type in Navy real quick and go red and green. I can't remember if there's a Navy searcher. There's not one yet. Let me say that. In OP11, we will have access to a Navy searcher with Peacock, and that will probably be the best way to go moving forward, because then you can include the Rosinante, and you still can search up the main stuff in the deck like Tashigi and like the Smoker, and then maybe even, well, actually, that's probably about it. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. Is it worth running Peacock and then going more of like a Navy build, or am I missing something? Is there a searcher I just can't think of off the top of my head? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there's a red-green Navy searcher just yet. Let me see something. I typed in Navy and Virgo came up because he is Navy. But remember, guys, on play, you can look at the top 5 cards, but you can only reveal up to 1 Punk Hazard type card other than Virgo. So Punk Hazard, on the other hand, hits other than Virgo because we can't search up excuse me, your own searcher with it. It can search up the Sanji, it can search up the Chopper, this blocker, this 2K, this Monet. Unfortunately, it can't search up Eustace Captain Kidd, but it can search up the Smoker, the Tashigi, these are Punk Hazard Navy characters, and the Kamakura Jasushi, or the, Tin Layer Igloo, and then I think that might be it. But that's a lot more targets than we can search up for Navy. Okay, so that's pretty much the main logic there on why we're not running Rosinante, why we're not running Ben Beckman, why we're not running Dragon. Some people might still want to fit those cards into their deck, and I totally understand that, especially Rosinante over Dragon number 13, and even maybe Beckman moving some of the ratios around here. Like maybe you go -1 Eustace Kidd, -1 Rayleigh, and go up 2 Ben Beckman. I don't know. That's something we will have to mess around with. We'll have to see. This deck is a work in progress. I did not copy paste this like I normally would. I do like to just, for some of the decks like that are already established in the meta, I do like to just copy paste what people are doing, make slight modifications from there that better suit my playstyle, and go from there. But in this case, I thought, I'm just gonna whip something together and see how it goes. So it did end up going pretty well. So again, this is the list we're running today, guys. We'll talk about some modifications at the end. If you guys have any questions about this, please don't hesitate to put those questions down in the comments section below. Now, here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and hop into the first game. Let's see what this deck can do. Let's see it in action. First game up is against Purple Luffy. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and here we go. So not the best hand I've ever seen. I'm only running 3 Rayleighs, and we're seeing one of them right here. And we did already, I believe we already mulliganed off screen. I almost forgot to record this game. So we're going to swing for 6, and there you go. We're playing down the number 13, Dragon number 13, right away. Right away, Dragon number 13. You love to see it. Into another one. We took the hit, and we're down to 3 life. We got another Dragon number 13. We're going to play out a Virgo here. We almost whiffed that search, guys. We only had 1 target we could get with the Sanji. Seems good. We're going to swing for 5 here. I think we could have played out the Sanji, attached a Dawn to it, and got 2 Dawn as active to do something here potentially. Let me see what my follow-up play is, but I think I'm going to just play out the Sanji and do a You Can Be My Samurai. So I guess I technically could have gotten an extra damage off there, but it looks like he countered out with a 2K, guys. Let me go back real quick. So we swing in for 5 here. Hang on, what happened? So we swing in for 5, and they give us a 2K anyway. So we did have a sequencing error there. We could have played out this, we could have played out, pause. We could have played out the Sanji, attach a Dawn, stand 2 Dawn is active with our leader, and then we can swing for 6 instead of just 5 with our leader, and then play out the, you can be my samurai to fill up our hand a little bit. So we missed out on like 1,000 power worth of attack swing, but never punished in this case. They counted out for 2K anyway, you know, for our 5K attack. Okay, but just so everyone is aware, just so everyone understands, there was a slightly better sequencing, play sequencing we could have done there. Okay, so they have a Sangoro on the board. This player knows what they're doing. They're going to go up to 8 Dawn for the turn with their leader effect, and they're going to swing for 6 with the Sangoro into what? What are they going to swing into here? And they're going to draw a card whenever they do attack with Sangoro. Not going for my Sanji there seems like a mistake to me, but at the same time, hey, they know what they're doing because they're going everything. They're going 6K at face, 6K at face. They're going to play out Luffy Taro into Sangoro, and this is not pretty. This is not pretty right here, guys. So let's see what we do here. We're going to go 6 into 6. Let's see what he gives me. Gives me another 2K counter. Okay, well, if that's the case, we're going to go 8 into 6. Does he have more 2Ks to give out? He does not. So we're going to stand 2 Dawn is active here, and we are going to probably just do a 5K face check. Yeah, and we're going to sit on this 2-cost 10-layer Igloo event in hand so that we can save any important characters here. We already have a blocker. We have 2 life. I'm not scared we're going to lose the game this turn, so I'm just trying to survive in the best board state possible. I'm okay with giving up my Sanji. This guy is just attacking into my face, though. He said, board? What's that? Like, what do you mean my opponent has a board? Okay, guys, please understand, attacking into my board it has to be the right call here, guys. Attacking into my board has to be the right call. So he swings in for 6. I take it, even though I can counter out of it. I take that. I'm saying, hey, hey, come on down, bud. Come on down. We're just going to swing with everything you got. Swing with everything you got. Establish one character, like probably a 9-cost Lin. Push one of my cards to life. I'm fine with it. You know, bring it on. So they swing in for 8 here. This is a turn where I can just use the blocker. I'm not scared about getting rid of the blocker there. He got his value. And remember, guys, Monkey D. Luffy, they run this card called Uso Hachi. They can rest down characters very easily. And 7-cost Sanji can rest down characters. They're going to go 5 into 4 here. I am going to 2K counter out. And I believe they have a 9 Dawn follow-up with Lin to push my card to life. So I basically paid 2K. I trashed a card and I gained a life this turn. That's what ended up happening. So we'll take that. They can't push back the Hody Jones. They can only target a 6-cost or lower character. And now, guys, I got a pretty despicable turn for my opponent here. Yeah, we're going to drop down this Rayleigh and just really start, aggressively attacking into this board. So we get rid of the Sangoro completely. We're going to go 8 into 6 here, see what he wants to give me. He gives me a 2K and a 1K. And now I'm going to stand 2 Dawn is active, and I have a choice now. I can go 8,000 into 6, which is the right call in my personal opinion. Or I could go 6 into 6 and then sit on the 2-cost Kamakura Jutsushi 10-layer Igloo event. I don't think I can lose, though. I'm going to say this. Now, if he saves his Luffy Taro here, I can probably lose. But otherwise, I don't think I can lose in this situation unless he has the 10-cost, Luffy, which most purple Luffy decks don't run that. It doesn't quite go well with the way the deck, functions with losing life and whatnot. And it's almost always better to play out these Lin characters like this, so they can push characters off the opponent's board and gain cards, draw, cycle cards, ramping back, or it stabilizes them. They can either keep the life, they can gain the life, or cycle it out with their leader effect. Okay, so here we go. They did a search. They played out a 9-cost character. They still have a Dawn active for Gum Gum Giant. They're just in a very good spot here. But, guys, I'm going to keep going for this board because that's the way to do it, guys. I don't know how else to say it. That seemed, in my personal opinion, that's the way to go. So I go 8 into 6. They give me a 2K, 1K. I go 8 into 6 more. They give me a Gum Gum Giant. And now I still have 4 Dawn left for the turn. I'm going to stand 2 Dawn as active here with my leader's effect. And what do we do now? It's kind of a tough call, to be honest. It's kind of a tough call. We're going to slam down the Monet and go for it. Now, some people might be thinking, like, why didn't I do that first where I could attack more aggressively into it? And the answer is, I guess I could have, but I'd rather them give me their entire hand like they did, instead of me attacking into their life and giving them more answers. So so what ended up happening there is we got all the cards out of their hand. We got a Gum Gum Giant out of the way. Our board is still massive. We're sitting on 2 Dawn here. We're sitting on 1 life, and we can get out of pretty much anything they throw at us. Because remember, that 2-cost event in our hand is basically a 5k counter. It's basically a 2-cost 5k because it gives minus 3,000, excuse me, it gives you plus 3,000, and it gives one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000. Okay, so they're going to swing for 11, so they can only swing for 11 more. Okay, well, I'll take that. Seems good. You know, we'll take that one. They're going to swing in for 11. We'll get out of this one. We did the math on that. They can only swing it for 11 twice there, so we're just going to get out of both. Or we take one and get out of the other, and here we go. I think we're going to have to just go for lethal here, guys. I think, I don't know how else to say it. We don't really have many other options. We could have technically gone for the board. We could have played out the blocker, used the Monet, dropping down the power of the 9-cost, and hoped that the blocker saved us. We definitely could have done that, but that's dangerous. That's very dangerous here. So we're going to swing for 8. Remember, guys, I have this on 2x speed. They're just trying to decide what they want to do here. So we're going to swing for 8. 9, 10, 11, I want to say, or 8, 9, 9, and then, yeah, ended up being 13. I left Dawn active just in case I needed to do a different play there. But, guys, they only had they could only get out of a 7k attack there at the end, and they drew the 2k counter for the turn, I believe. But since they had a Gum Gum Giant, actually, I'm sorry, they probably didn't have Gum Gum Giant, but they should have kept 1 Dawn active for Gum Gum Giant, because in their hand, look what they drew for the turn. They did end up drawing an Usohachi. So, like, they could have rested down my blocker and gone for lethal, no problem. I think I could have gotten rid of this Lin, by the way, because, all right, let's think of some other options we could have had here. Let's just say I play out the 4-cost Tony Chopper. I have to do that. That is the right play in this situation. That is the right call. So now I have 4 Dawn rested. Okay, no problem. Use Monet to attach 2 Dawn to maybe even one of my characters, maybe my Rayleigh, and then minus 1,000 to their character. And if I swing 10 into it, they can 2k, 1k counter out, I think, like even before they drew the cards from their life. They probably could have gotten out of that, but then I would just swing for, 10 more into it with the next Rayleigh, and now the card's gone. And then instead of going for lethal this turn, I wouldn't attack into their life at all. I would actually use my remaining, the remaining Dawn for the turn here. I would probably play out the You Can Be My Samurai here to tap something down to, draw some cards potentially. I don't know. It's hard to say because I can't tap down my blocker. So I probably would have had to try to go for their board with my leader. Like I probably would have had to just try to go 8s across the board and finish it off with my leader or something, because I do need to be able to get down the Tony Chopper and be able to use a Virgo and another one of my characters to draw some cards. It would have been very tricky, but I do think we had a more defensive play there. But that becomes very dangerous because what is your opponent going to draw into? When we use the You Can Be My Samurai, is it even going to help us? What if we don't draw into a card we need? There's just so many different, possibilities there. It gets very scary. Okay, either way, good game to my opponent. We ended up getting there in the end. We had to go for lethal, and we had just enough. Okay, next up we have the game versus Red-Blue Marco. Okay, let's go. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x. Whoops, no, it's not. Now it is. Okay, if I can click on it. There we go, and we're full screen. Here we go. So we got a game here versus Red-Blue Marco. Marco is actually pretty decent into Smoker, I think, because it has the power reduction. So, like, okay, you want to play out the 8-cost Eustace Kid. Okay, yeah, it's going to cost you, though. Because now it ends up being just a 6,000 power character with their leader effect, and that's a lot easier to take care of than 8,000 power, right? That becomes a lot easier to deal with. So we went first. We had no turn 1 play. They go second. They use their leader effect to sort their to rotate cycle out a card, and then we're gonna go ahead and play out the Sanji here. So they go ahead and use their leader effect again. They're cycling through their deck, and now they have 3 Dawn left for the turn. What are they gonna do with this? I think they end up swinging for 9 here, which means they just didn't have a better play. We'll take that. No argument here. We have a 5 Dawn play here. We are going to swing for 6 with the Sanji, I believe, first. And then I think we might even swing for, no, I think we're going to play out the Smoker. Yep, and we're going to stand some Dawn as active, and we're going to swing for 6 with our leader now. And we're going to leave 2 Dawn as active as well for the 10-layer Igloo. because I have this idea right now, like in my head. So our opponent did not see anything they needed, and they just did a 1K counter to get out of that 6K attack. So I know they're hurting on pressure, or excuse me, on counter power. So I'm actually going to maybe potentially super defend this Sanji. Like if they try to swing for 7 into it or 8 into it or something, I might actually try to defend this card fully. Okay, let's see what they do. They're going to go for 5 into it. Okay, well, I think I might just give them a 2K counter here. Yeah, we're going to give them a 2K. They're going to use, okay, they had to use Divine Departure to get rid of my Smoker. Well played. That was very solid. But now we're coming in for 6 more. They didn't get another 2K counter. We're playing out the Hody Jones aggressively. We're standing up a bunch of Dawn here. We're swinging in for 5. I guess we should have swung for 5 and then 6. Whatever. It is what it is. It happens. And then we're going to swing in for 8 here. And we have 2 Dawn active still. We still have 2 Dawn active, guys. It's going to be very, very hard for them to deal with my board. You know, I've got two 2K counters in hand, a 1K counter, a 2-cost event, and a 0-cost 3K. Like, our hand is actually as stacked as it can get at this moment for counter power. So let's see what our opponent chooses to do here. How are they going to deal with this board? They're going to go minus 2,000 to the Hody Jones. We are going to get out of that 6K attack with a 0-cost 3K, and they bin Beckman our Hody Jones off the board. That is less than ideal. That is less than ideal. Okay, so we're going to do a poke for 5 here. And get this, guys, I changed my mind at the very last second. I swing for 5, I swing for 6. Let's see what happens. And right here, I was going to play out the Eustace Kid, which I did, and then I was going to attach a Dawn to it and rest it, and then keep 2 Dawn as active. But then I started thinking, you know what, I'm just going to leave this card active, because they only have 2 attacks. They can't get me right now. Like, with 2 Dawn active and the 2K counter power I have in hand, I'm not at jeopardy of losing this game, right? I am not at any jeopardy of losing this game. I'm in a very good spot. I'm fine, right? I'm just completely fine in this situation. So I'm not going to let them attack into my character. I'm going to make them attack into my face or into my Sanji. If they want to attack into Sanji, that's fine. We'll draw a card from it. We get a Rayleigh, seems good. They're going to swing for 7. We're going to take that. They have 7 Dawn left. Okay, or they had 8 Dawn, excuse me. They're going to play out a Gum Gum Red Rock, bottom decking my Eustace Kid, and then they play out a Duval to do a top 3, you know, scry type of ability. They're setting the top 3 cards of their deck. So that was unfortunate. I was hoping they didn't have Red Rock, because I don't know, Red Blue Marco definitely runs Red Rock, but I think there's situations where they don't as well. So here we go, guys. I have to make a decision here. Pause. What would you do on this turn? Pause. Pop quiz. All right, class. Everyone take out a piece of paper, take out your pencil, take out your number 2 pencil, and start and write down the answer to this equation. What would you be doing in this situation here? I don't think there's any one right answer, by the way. I think there's probably multiple good answers in this situation. But check out what I do, and let's see if it lines up, right? You know, first, think in your mind, what would you do? And then see what I do and see if it lines up. No, take some things into consideration. I've done the math on this. Okay, here we go. So we're going to play out a Smoker. We're going to stand 3 Dawn as active with the Smoker plus our leader effect. We're going to play out a Rayleigh with the remaining 10 Dawn, or excuse me, with the remaining 8 Dawn. So a 5 Dawn into an 8 Dawn play there. And we're going to swing 5 into 4. If he saves it, that's actually fine. We're actually completely fine with it, because he has a 4K body on the board and a 5K leader. The most he can attack for next turn is 9 and then 10. Well, we have a 2K, 2K, 2K in hand. We can get out of the 10. We can literally make him fully invest into attacking into us for the 9K and the 10K, and we'll bounce, you know, on the clapback. We'll take him out. Okay, so we've done the math here. So we're swinging 5 into 4. He gives us a 2K counter. Seems good to me. And here we go. Let's see what they choose to do. This is a tough spot to be in, because you pretty much either A, you have to clear my board, or B, you have to win this turn. Like, there is no in-between answer, right? You either have to clear my board completely or win the game this turn. Because if you don't fully clear my board, then I'm just going to, you know, beat through. Maybe unless they get enough blockers, I don't have your removal. There might be some potential there. But I have a Eustace Kid in hand and just infinite numbers of counter power, right? I have so much counter power, and my board has I have 2 8,000 power characters on the board. Okay, so they're going to give minus 2,000 to the Rayleigh. I think they technically should have done it to the Smoker, just in case they got a Ben Beckman. Oh, well. So they're going to swing for 9. And again, guys, they only have 6 on left. They can only swing for 9 and then 10. So I take that. They swing for 10. I had the math. I was already calculated, and that's going to be game. I'm going to swing for 7 with Banish. Let's see what their top card is. It was a Fire Fist. Not that it really mattered, I guess, because we did have multiple attacks coming in. So we swing in for 7. That was going to get both cards out of hand. Then I was just going to swing in for 8 and swing in for 15. Good game to my opponent there. That was a fun one. But again, guys, it's just one of those situations where they're just in deep trouble. I think technically we should have swung for 9 and then 9, so that way it gets their final card out of the way. But what trigger could it have been to stop me? Even a, if I attack in for 7, right? Then I think hang on, if it's a 2K, 1K, they get out of it, and then I swing in for 8. And even if it is a Red Hawk that gives my leader minus 10,000, I just put 10 Dawn back on my character and swing for 5. You know, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's pretty much no way out of it. But I will say this, technically speaking, I should have swung for 9. Don't take any chances. It had banished. They couldn't get out of it. Swing for 9 with Rayleigh. Good game. Okay, that was a good game to my opponent. Let's move on to the next one. We got a game here versus Blue-Black Usopp. This is a great game that can kind of show the psychological warfare that can happen in a TCG, and in this case, specifically in the game of One Piece. Adjust my camera ever so slightly here. Oh, there we go. Okay, I don't like that. I had to adjust the camera there, guys. There we go. Okay. So they're going to go off to a blistering start here. Double searcher on turn 1 for them. We went first. We had nothing. And then we're dropping down dragon number 13. Let's go. Dragon number 13 is an absolute beast, guys. Here we go. They're going to slam down Bartolomeo. We're going to play out the Smoker. We're going to stand 3 Dawn as active after that. Let's see what happens here. Yep, stand some Dawn is active. And now we're going to smash in for 6. They end up taking it instead of blocking. I was a little bit confused, a little bit perplexed by that. But that means they're trying to save stuff in hand, obviously. That's fine. Hey, I don't know my opponent's hand. So they're going to play out the Zoro there. How did they get rid of my Smoker? Did I miss it? They used Haute Couture Patchwork to reduce the cost of my Smoker by 3. Seems good. We're going to play out the Hody, resting down their board, 8 into 6. Let's go. And then we're going to go 5 into 3. We had to attack into the bigger character first there, and now we're going to stand 2 Dawn as active just in case they drew something to help defend it if we attacked the smaller character first. Because remember how Usopp's ability goes, guys. So we're going to swing. We leave 2 Dawn as active. Again, we're just trying to protect our board. They're going to play out a Leo here. They still have 7 Dawn for the turn, so you know what that means in Usopp. 7 Dawn typically means a Rebecca play. Okay, it's either going to be like Rebecca, Cairo, 7 cost Luffy, something along those lines. They're going to swing in for 5 here. We're going to take it like an absolute madman. That's right. We had a 1K counter. We could have gave him and everything. Nope. We're just going to take it. We're going to go down to 0. We have a play set up for this turn here. We're going to poke for 5, of course, see what they want to do. And then we're going... I'm surprised they didn't... Never mind. I was going to say, if they swung into the number 13, I would have dealt with that. We're going to play out the Eustace Kid. We're going to play out a Tashigi. Now they cannot KO my character. They have to get rid of the Tashigi first and then go for my Eustace Kid. That's fine. We have a blocker. We have the Tashigi. We're hanging in there. We're hanging in there. We have 2 Dawn active. We have a decent amount of counter power. But this game is by no means over. We are not in a great position here. This is not a good spot to be in, let me tell you right now. It'd be nice if I could get down this Smoker, but we can't. So, I mean, we just have to kind of deal with what's on the board right now. We just have to try to survive. Okay, and remember, guys, we are on 2x speed. I always play these games in 2x speed. We have to give our opponent time to think. Okay, they play out a Suleiman, or Suleiman, however you say that. They get rid of my Smoker with Hound Blaze. That's right. They did some type of, or not my, it was a Tashigi, not a Smoker. They got rid of, they did -1 or -2 to it with the Suleiman, and then they got rid of my card, and now they're going to smash in 14 into 8. I'm gonna use my blocker there. Dragon number 13 coming in clutch at that exact moment. They're going to stand up the Luffy. I'm going to get out of it with the Kamakura Jutsushi, +3 to me, -2 to him, and then a 2K counter, and we're fine. We're completely fine here. Now, there is an idea to go for lethal here. I'm not going to lie. There's definitely an idea to go for lethal here. But let's see what happens. We're going to use out the Smoker. We're going to stand 3 Dawn as active. That ends up being like a 2... That's like a 2 Dawn 7K with Banish in this deck, guys. We're going to poke for 9 first. I think I should have just used the Straw Sword to rest down the Rebecca. I think this was a play mistake, especially now that they ended up using the 2K 1K. We know they're going to use the Rebecca. So in this situation here, I think I should have played out the Straw Sword to tap it down and go from there, because then I could have also gotten the Suleiman off the board, but we'll see what happens. So we're going to attach Dawn there. We're going to put as much Dawn as we can on our leader. And watch this, guys. I don't have a 2 Dawn event in hand. Okay, I mean, I do technically with Straw Sword, but that's a main. That's an activate main type of event there. I could have just loaded everything on my Smoker here and just smashed into that Luffy, but then it doesn't let my opponent know I have 2 Dawn active for the event. Watch this. Remember what I said earlier, psychological warfare? We're going to go 9 into 6. He gives me a 2K, 2K. He does a little bit of math right here and goes, okay, crap. Even if I can get through this 8-cost Eustace Kid, I can't win because of 10 Layer Igloo. Well, guys, I don't have a 10 Layer Igloo, as it turns out. As it turns out, we don't even have a 10 Layer Igloo in our hand. So, guys, please always, always play games out to their fullest, to its full conclusion at the end here. I think it would have been fine if he attacks in with the Luffy and then I 10 Layer Igloo for him to concede at that point, because then it's like, okay, yeah, it's over. But who knows? This guy might have also been thinking like, okay, what am I going to do? So I have 5 cards in hand. My opponent doesn't know my 5 cards. I only have 4K counter in hand. So imagine he tries to just, like, say he just assumes I have 6K in counter. That's not the worst assumption, right? 6K in counter would get me all the way to 14K. So what does that mean? If he swings for 14 into my Eustace Kid with his Luffy, right, he can stand that up by returning 7 cards, from his trash to the bottom of his deck, and that would be a 7 Dawn investment, right? Well, if he does that, if he does a 7 Dawn investment like that just to get rid of my Eustace Kid, okay, no problem. I let it go. He only has 3 Dawn left for the turn to work with, so he can swing for 5, 5, 6, or 5. Yeah, 5, 5, 6 would be the best call there, I think. Or even if he goes for 8, it doesn't matter. I have exactly enough to get out of that. So this was one of those situations where it's kind of like I think he needed to get greedy there. Let me say it like this. I think he needed to get greedy here and just swing 12. If he's, I know it's in my hand. My opponent doesn't, right? I have 2 Dawn active. He thinks I have 10 Layer Igloo in hand. But if he just swings for 12 into my Eustace Kid, he can actually win the game after that, because if he stands up his Luffy and puts 5 on his Luffy, right, that allows him to swing 12 into my guy, and then he still has 5 Dawn left for the turn, and at that point he can swing 5 with Suleiman, that's 1, 5 with Rebecca, that's another 1, and then he still has 3 left, he can swing for 8, and that would actually be able to get rid of me. It would be just enough to take care of me. Okay, either way, good game to my opponent. Guys, like I said, that psychological warfare there, it could have changed his whole turn. He might have decided, you know what, I still have 2 life left and I have a blocker in hand. What I'm going to do is just establish more on the board, and I'll still try to get rid of the Eustace Kid first. And then I play out my Idio, I play out the Zoro, KOing like in fact, if they just attack him with Suleiman and fill up their trash, they'd be able to get rid of the Smoker with the Zoro. So the game definitely wasn't over. They left way too early, even if they could not get through my Eustace Kid. Either way, good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. Let's move on to the next one. All right, next up, we have a game versus ST14 Black Luffy. I think it's ST14. I can't remember. Volume's off, speed's on 2x, and here we go. We're actually, look at this, guys. We actually had a turn 1, turn 3 play here, or turn 1, turn 2 play lined up. I think this is the first time in all these videos today that we've actually had our turn 1 Virgo. Actually, we might have had it on one of the first games. Oh, well. Either way, we did not find our 5-drop Tashigi yet. We play out the 1-drop Virgo on curve. Then we play out on turn 1. Then we play out the Sanji on curve. They're going to play out a Kuzan. They're going to attack in. We're going to aggressively take this hit here so that we can try to get better cards in hand. Our hand is a little bit, lackluster right now. It's a little bit mid. So we're going to swing for 6 here. I could have attached a Dawn to the Sanji first and done things from there. That's okay. We're going to swing for 6, then swing for 7. We stand 2 Dawn is active, and we're going to play out Dragon number 13. Let's go, man. Dragon number 13, MVP for today's games. I love the art on that card. I don't know why. It's almost goofy looking, but I still absolutely love the art on that Dragon number 13 blocker. Okay, they attack in. They get rid of my Sanji just by attacking with their leader. They have the stage on the board, so they do get +1 cost to their Straw Hat characters. That KOs my other Sanji, so I have drawn a lot of cards. I basically just drew 3 cards. We're going to slam down Hody Jones here. We're going to rest down his board, and we're going to stand some Dawn up. We can stand 2 Dawn. We're going to go 5 into 3. That's fine. We'll stand up. The 2 Dawn now, and I think we're going to swing 9 into this Hody Jones. Hody Jones is going to swing 9 into the Kuzan, and I'm thinking they're definitely going to save this. Unfortunately, they did not save it. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's fine. I play out the Virgo with the remaining 1 Dawn. I grab a Smoker, and now next turn we might be able to do a little bit of fireworks here, right? I am a little bit vulnerable this turn. I have, well, no, I have about 7k counter in hand. It's not too bad, but I have 2 bricks in hand. Those straw swords were okay. I'll try to talk about that more towards the end of the video. Those are definitely on the chopping block, though. It's kind of more geared for the Blackbeard matchup, but I don't know if that's even going to be our worst matchup. So, all right, we'll see what happens. So, they're going to play out Jack here. They're going to cycle a card, KOing number 13. No, guys, not Dragon number 13. Not like this, man. They get rid of Dragon number 13 with the Jack. They smash in. I think we counter out of something, took the other, and here we go. That Jack has got to go. The Jack can't stay on the board. We have to do everything in our power to get rid of that card. We're going to play out the Monet. We're going to put 2 Dawn on our Smoker. We're going to -1 to the Jack, and we're going to play out the Smoker. Standing 3 Dawn is active afterwards. We're going to do a nice little 9k poke into their Jack. Let's see what they choose to do. They do 1k, 1k, 1k. Okay, well, if that's the case, I'll tell you what, I'll just go 9 more into it, see if he gets out of it. If he gets out of it, he gets out of it, but I seriously doubt it at that point. It's like, okay, you know, if you're not giving me 2, if that was all a bluff, that would have been incredible. That would have been incredible if he was just bluffing that. So here we go. They're going to play out a 10-cost Kuzan. They wreck my Smoker right there, and this is not the position I want to be in. They swing 5 into 4. I think I am just going to let that go. It ended up being like a 1k counter anyway. You know, if you think of it like that, like, okay, he had to use an attack on that, ended up being a 1k counter, and I already got value from it. They're going to go 6 into 5 here. I think I am going to take this, and we're going to do a search for 8-cost Kid with this with the 1-cost You Can Be My Samurai. Okay, we end up getting there. Seems good. We swing 8 into 6. We get rid of that card. We're going to slam down the Eustace Kid this turn for sure, without any doubt, without any hesitation here, and watch what happens. We swing for 5. They take it. Seems good. We're going to play out the Eustace Kid. We're going to attach a Dawn. We're going to stand 2 Dawn as active. And then we're going to play out the, we're going to cheat out the Tashigi here. So then he can't just easily get rid of my character and go from there. He probably can get rid of my character, but I do have the Kamakura, or the, I keep calling it the Kamakura Jutsushi, the 10-layer Igloo. I have 2 of those in hand. Yeah, we're in a tough spot, though. There's no getting around that. It's at this point in the game you just have to hope your opponent has kind of run out of gas a little bit, like run out of removal against black decks. So here we go. Let's see what they choose to do here. I think, if I remember correctly, this might be a Rebecca turn. Yeah, because they can attach 1 Dawn to their leader, play out the Rebecca for 4, pull back the Sanji, play something out. I think they play out a brand new, and then they can play out the Sanji for the turn, if I remember correctly. Okay, yep, Rebecca, they pull back the Sanji. They end up slamming down a brand new. I think they end up grabbing a 2k counter to Shigi here. Finally, they got a 2k counter. And look, another 2k counter when they're trash. They were stacked, that Suru. They're going to swing 10 into 8 here, and let's see what we do. We do, of course, have to get out of this. We're going to use, we'll probably just use the Kamakura, this move here, the event, just to get out of it, because they can't attack him with their leader anyway. So we'll just get out of that. Okay, here we go. So, let me pause. What would you guys do in this situation? I'm a little bit concerned with the fact that they have a 10-cost Kuzan on the board. That's what I'm concerned with. Let me tell you right up front, let me tell you right away, that is concerning to me. That is disheartening, right? Because I can't just leave that card on the board. I have to go for lethal right here or try to find a way to get that card off the board. I know my opponent has a 2k counter now. They searched it up with a brand new. What are we going to do here? I could go for the board as well, but I'd rather just try to get, try to go for a game here, and I think that's what I end up doing. We do have a Straw Sword in hand here. We can use that, but I think I need the Hody Jones. I think I need the extra attacker here. Okay, so let's see what happens. So, again, I'm kind of running through the numbers in my head. I can do a very defensive play here where I basically swing 5 into the brand new, see what they do, and then play out a blocker, one of the 4-cost 2k blockers, attach a Dawn to my Eustace Kid, go for everything on the board with my Eustace Kid and my Hody Jones, attack maybe 1 time in the face and sit on Kamakura Jutsushi 10-layer Igloo, and go from there. But it's just so dangerous, and I could even play out a Tashigi with my leader effect if I get rid of the Sanji early on. But we end up swinging in for 8 here, guys. They take it. We swing in for 8 more. Okay, are they going to take it? They're going to. I think they're going to bait me into attacking here. Yeah, so they do counter out of that. I'm going to swing for 8. That's right, only 8. See if he wants to give me a 2k, 1k. And then, okay, well, I'm going to stand 2 Dawn is active, and we're coming in for 10. So we tricked him. I think he forgot about my leader effect, and we end up getting out of that. We end up winning that with just enough, guys, with just enough. But look what was in his hand. He had a Sanji. So even if I had a blocker down, it would have just been a nightmare. I think, so let me just go back to the beginning of this turn. let me tell you what I probably should have done. Just in all honesty, what I think I should have done is swing 5 into his brand new with my leader. Okay, 5 into the brand new with my leader. Okay, he's going to let that go. Okay, he's just going to simply let that card go. That's completely fine. Now, I still have 10 Dawn left to work with for the turn. We're going to play out the 4-cost Chopper this turn. Okay, so we played that out for 4. We stand 2 Dawn up. We still have 8 Dawn left to work with. We're probably going to then use a Straw Sword to rest down that blocker and smash everything that we can into that Kuzan. Just go everything in on the Hody Jones. And then 1 Dawn left for our Eustace Kid, and then we'll tap down the Eustace Kid afterwards. And or maybe we even swing for 10 with Hody Jones, or with Eustace Kid into the Kuzan. No, see, hear me out. We have to go everything we can into that card, I think. And then we can swing Virgo into the Rebecca. That's fine. But hear me out. Then we end up sitting on 2 Dawn left for the turn. We tap down the Eustace Kid to play out the 3-cost Tashigi, where now they can't remove my Eustace Kid, but they can remove the blocker. It becomes a headache no matter what, but I think that would have been the safest play, technically, because we would have cleared up most of their board, and then they probably would have saved the Kuzan. They probably would have saved Kuzan, and then what do we do from there? It would really just depend. So actually, after looking at it and analyzing it and thinking about it, the better play would have probably been this. I have double Straw Sword in hand, so 2, 4, 8. Get 2 Dawn back, 6. So we have 2 there. We would need 2 Dawn. Yeah, so I think what we could have done here, hear me out, guys. So, okay, swing for 5 into this brand new. That's the first order of business for sure. And then what we could have done is used just 1 Straw Sword to rest down the Sanji, and I can swing 8 into it and see if he wants to save it. The answer is he probably doesn't want to. You know what I mean? If he does, that's fine too, I guess. And then if he saves it with counter power, then I use the other Straw Sword to rest down the Rebecca and smash into it with the Eustace Kid. You see what I'm saying? And that would, I think from there we'd be able to stabilize, playing out the cards I was saying, play out the Chopper, play out the Tashigi, and go about things from there. I don't know. I'm not going to analyze it for too long, but I think there was a slightly more defensive play. If you guys can think of it, by all means, put it in the comments section below. All right, we got one more game. One more game, and this one is an absolute banger. We got a game versus Purple Yellow, Nico, Robin. This was a nail biter. I think all the games today were nail biters, where I had to go for lethal and I barely had it every time. That's kind of just the nature of this deck, I feel like. It's just such a high value engine with the way the leader works. There it is, Dragon number 13 making an appearance in like every single game, guys. Of course we take the Banish. We don't care about Banish. Guys, don't worry about taking hits from Nico Robin. Just let the cards go to the trash. It's fine. Oh man, not like this. They used Nami to KO our Dragon number 13. Get out of here, bro. Not like this. It is what it is. All right, so they're going to swing for 5 with their leader here. Yeah, we're just going to take it. Yeah, just let it go to the trash. Save up our counter power for when we need it. They're going to play out a Luffy here. They could not rush in because we only had 4 Dawn. And now we're just going to attack in. We're going to Straw Sword. We're going to go 7 into 7 right here. Let's see what he does. He's going to save it if he can, of course. Okay, now we're going to use our leader effect. Stand up 2 Dawn is active. And we're just going to go everything. We're going to go 10 into 7. If he's got 2K, then he's got it. All right, their turn. Here we go. Hey, does he want to attack into my Sanji, or does he want to attack into my face with Banish? Okay, he's got 9 Dawn left. I don't like that. Hopefully it's not something like 10 cost or 9 cost Yamato or something. All right. Straw Sword came in pretty clutch there. Straw Sword wasn't too bad in that situation. Let's see what they do now. They have another one. Guys, that card is actually pretty nice in Nico Robin. I'm not going to lie. I like that quite a bit. I think they should have attacked first with Nico Robin, the leader, because I can just take both of these hits now and then just 2K out of this. They had 1 Dawn active. I had a feeling they were going to Nico Olvia, right? That was kind of the logic there. And it's going to take 2 cards to get out of that attack or the Luffy, so just take all the Luffy hits. Okay, well, here we go. What do we do? Guys, how do you get out? I mean, I should have paused it. Guys, how do you get out of this? Okay, I'm going to start off with a search because I think that's the best way to do it anyway. We're going to start off with a search. That Luffy pretty much has to go, right? There really is no other option. That Luffy's got to go. Okay, what do? We're going to play out the Virgo here. We're going to do a top search. There's a Smoker, a 2K counter we can get, and another 2K counter. Let's see what happens. We're going to get the blocker. Okay, I'm going to get the blocker. Oh, man, what a game. What a game. So we're going to go 7 into 7. Let's see what he wants to give me. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to play out Tony Chopper. We're going to stand 2 Dawn as active, and I'm going 9 into it. It's my only chance. If he has any way to rest my blocker, I lose the game. I mean, it's that simple. He only has 2 cards in hand, so he had the card that he already knew about, and he top-decked a card. It's like, hey, man, if you got it, you got it. It's one of those situations where, hey, there's not a whole lot I can do in this situation. Okay, my phone's ringing like crazy over here. I got to check that in a minute. All right, so they play out a Jaguar Desol. Well, I've got terrible news for this guy. I've got the plan here. Watch this. You know what we're going to do? We're going to swing for 5. They're going to greedily take it. I love that. Now we're going to swing for 7. You going to give me the blocker? Or both cards in hand? Oh, you're going to take it. Straw Sword, stand 2 Dawn is active. Virgo, attacking for 11. Good game. What a game, right? That was a crazy one. That was actually a very strange, intense game right there. It came down to the wire. And the utility of the 2K counters in the game now, first of all, like Nico Olvia for Nico Robin. But no, I was going to say, like, this Tony Chopper, it's like, hey, yes, if they have a blocker, or excuse me, if they have a way to get around my blocker, they would win the game that turn for sure. But they didn't. Like, that's the simple, hey, that's the simple, there's no other way to say it. It's that simple. So we got around it. Good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. They probably should have only swung for maybe 10 and leave 1 Dawn active for Gum Giant just in case they needed it. But at the same time, if I'm running Hody Jones, this game's just over anyway, right? So anyway, either way, good game to my opponents. Those were a lot of fun. All right, let's go over to the deck list. We'll check it out one more time. Tell me what you guys think about it. I definitely was missing Ben Beckman in here. I think I'm going to go like -1 Eustace Kid, like I said, and probably -1 of the 8 cost, Rayleigh here. And I don't know. This card was decent too, but I might even drop Straw Sword. We'll have to see. But I do want to go up Ben Beckman. Let me drop Straw Sword for now. What did y'all think of Straw Sword? If I get rid of that, I'm probably going up another Beckman and then up another one of these Dragon number 13s. Or if you want to, you can go the 2-cost Rosinante. 2-cost Rosinante is not searchable, but at the same time, it is a slightly more reliable blocker in terms of what it can save. Like it can protect your Eustace Kid and things like that, or even your Smokers, your Hody Jones. As long as they're sideways on the board, you will have ways to protect them with your Rosinante. And on top of that, there's a situation where, like, okay, well, how are you going to save your Smoker with Rosinante if they're trying to get rid of it? Well, and I'm saying, like, if you have not attacked yet, that's what I'm really trying to say. Well, there's actually not a terrible idea to use You Can Be My Samurai on Smoker. Because remember, if you rest this card down with this leader, this is an 8,000 power character. So there might be a situation where on, like, let's just say it is a 5 Dawn turn. Guys, on a 5 Dawn turn, say turn 1, let's just say you got the Dream Curve, okay? For this example, turn 1 Virgo, turn 2 Sanji, turn 3 Smoker. Okay, now on your turn 3 Smoker, your turn's not over yet. You get 3 Dawn is active. Okay, no problem. We will go ahead and we'll set 3 Dawn as active. We'll use 1 Dawn for You Can Be My Samurai, resting down the Smoker and the Virgo to draw 2 cards, and then we'll slam down a Rosinante. Now they can't remove your Smoker. Well, they can't KO it, right? They technically can remove it with something like a bottom deck or trash or something, but if they try to KO it with an effect, you can save it with Rosinante. Another option, of course, on 3 Dawn would be playing out the Tashigi. So I will say that as much as I enjoyed playing or using this card, the Dragon number 13, this card's incredible. I love the artwork. I wish I could just swap the artwork over to this card. Yeah, I mean, hey, this looks like Rosinante to me right now. I'm just kidding. No, but this is such a cool card. It is searchable with the Virgo, but I think Rosinante is just slightly better. It's just just a hair better than Dragon number 13. I know, total insanity on my part. I know. All right, well, that's about it, guys. The deck was performing pretty well. Red-Green Smoker is solid. If you're running any special tech cards in here, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to see those. By all means, mention something in the comments section below. But that's about it. Like I said, the main adjustments I would make is adding Ben Beckman as like a 2 or a 3 of in here, adjusting the numbers on here. Let me even call this one Smoker Revised. Okay, I'll save that. this is probably the direction I would move with the or go with in this deck. I do think this card is very, very solid in here. We have a decent amount of bricks. I don't know if we even have enough bricks though to justify running the whoever wins this war becomes justice, because we're only running 3, 6, 8, 12. We're running actually 15. I would say 15 because of You Can Be My Samurai. Okay, yeah. So running this at a 1 or a 2 of, probably not too bad. Maybe even going down to a 1 of these to go +1 of the 10-layer igloo. There could be something there. All right, I'm done. I'm done yapping. Tell me what y'all thought about this in the comment section below. Red Green Smoker, very fun deck to play. But yeah, I will say it's not really, how do I say this? It's not really my style for the most part in this game. I think I tend to favor more of like the yellow and black decks in this game. Yellow, blue, black decks like that, or that's the way I typically go. But hey, you know, red and green, I still have fun with that. Red, green, and purple, we have fun with that on the channel every now and then whenever we can. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Guys, if you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing to help me out, I really appreciate it. Using my TCG Player affiliate link. Donating through Patreon or PayPal, the Playmat supporters, the YouTube members, the Discord community. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all the support and, you know, keeping the dream alive, keeping the channel going. You guys are awesome. All right, I'm done. Till next time, peace.